again, and welcome to Side Character Quest. I am your frequent and amazing guest, Amber, and as always, your host is Ty?
Hello, how are you doing this morning?
Nope, not Ty.
Well, I may not be the host you expected, but I promise to be better than you could have ever dreamt of.
I need to tell Ty to move. The neighborhood that he lives in has just too many people who just come into his house.
His locks don't work very well.
That's very apparent.
I regularly use his bathroom instead of my own.
Well, that's kind of him, I guess. So, deep voice person, where's Ty?
What was that question? I missed it a little bit.
Where's Ty?
He's doing his morning rituals of checking his locks, which we broke overnight.
Well, tell him to get off the toilet and head here, because he has a podcast to record. He has listeners.
I'll go do that.
Okay.
Kayfabe. Here he is.
Hello, everybody. How things going this morning?
So, how's your smoked salmon?
My smoked salmon is, I don't remember what fish tastes like, so I am gonna have a bad job of exploring that line of questioning. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
You doing okay?
It's the morning.
We're
here.
You seem the most tired I have ever seen you in my life.
Really? I could swear that we've like seen each other like the morning after an Aikido seminar.
Probably, but like even those, like you were physically exhausted, but like this seems like much more than that. Like just like tired, exhausted, as opposed to muscles and stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I don't know, dude. My life's just changed a lot, and I'm a lot more engaged with the world than I was, and by that I just mean that my schedule's more full in a way that I don't like, but it's not bad. It's just I always have to think about the next thing I'm doing.
Yeah. So we've actually we haven't recorded in about 2.5 months. It's been a while. So we hopefully will remember everything that's gone down, but you know, deal with it if we don't. If we forget some little detail that you, the listener, remember.
Yeah, and I want to say sorry for that. I had a secret mission to go on. It just took me away from, my life and Earth, so.
Very reasonable, and I took the time to record the entirety of the next arc. So this, hey listeners, there's going to be a weird little, this is a little jump where we're going into the future, and then we're going to come back with the next arc, following a character named Deirdre. Look forward to it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, do you need a recap about where we left off?
Yeah. I think that would just generally be nice.
Okay. Last time on Side Character Quest. In the small town of Flughaven, we find the amnesiac Silas reunited with a friend, Clara. Clara is trying to send a message of great import using some equipment owned by Goblin Godfrey. but Godfrey was being a little difficult. After being turned away by Godfrey, Clara and Silas find a desiccated corpse wrapped in vines and covered with mosquito bites.
Oh yeah, he was drained up real good.
Like
jerky.
Like jerky. Silas, in the night, tries to go out to investigate this and ends up at a lake marshy kind of deal out in the swamp, in the center of which is a large stone fortress. Not fortress, maybe fort might be a better word, smaller than a fortress. And standing in the middle of the lake is a green-eyed stag with branches for antlers and a sort of flat human-like face. Silas is booking it, thinking, oh boy, I am not in a spot to fight this crazy old thing. And she is carrying with her a bunch of broken sending stones.
Was it sending stones or sounding stones?
Dang it, you're right. Okay, sounding stones. Sending stones are the thing that send the voice, the big old stone that sends it, and sounding stones are the little smaller receivers. So sounding stones are receivers, the other ones are transmitters. Sending stones are transmitters. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that you identified the fact that the fort is not really a fortress, because like most species of building, the male version is always smaller. Yeah, it was late, I know.
That was a good joke. All right, so you are making your way into the main village area of Flughaven in the middle of the night. There's actually like a pretty, a lot of starlight, a lot of moonlight that are illuminating this town. You can see lots of wooden buildings, just sort of looks kind of like a frontier kind of town situation. And in the center of all of them is a more substantial structure with the big sign on the front that says Gilbert Godfrey's Goof Emporium and Sending Stone. I believe you were heading there to try to find Clara. Is that correct?
Yes. Let's see. Where I left her was the water tower. So I think Silas would check the water tower first. Or yeah, the silo. Sorry.
She had left a note for you that said that she was like going to try to use the Sending Stone.
That's right. Yeah. So then obviously my character would remember that because there hasn't been a 2-month time skip in their memory. Or has there been?
Oh, time jump.
But yeah, so she goes to Goblin Godfrey's Goof Emporium.
Nice. As you are walking towards the building, you start hearing some faint crackles from your pocket of all of those chipped and cracked crystals just start glowing and making lots of staticky noise. You get up to the main door of Goblin Godfrey's building, the Goof Emporium, and what do you do once you get up there? You don't see any lights on inside. You don't see anything. You don't see anyone around. No one's on the street. What do you do?
Let's see. There should be something that I have for this, right?
Very likely.
Because listeners, so Monster of the Week has this wonderful mechanic where if every time you fail, you gain experience, which makes it so that you can do awesome things in the future. But you have to suffer for your consequences of failing right now. But since we're doing side character quests, we don't really get to like explore that mechanic too much. And I've been failing a lot. So I need a win. So that's why I'm looking to my skills. Hopefully there's going to be something I can do here that will give me an edge. I want to use my hunches. And I want to say that I use them before I get to the Emporium. Let's read that real quick. Hunches for the spooky is when something bad is happening or just about to happen somewhere that you aren't. Roll plus sharp. 10 plus, you know where you're needed. just in time to get there. On a 7 and 9, you get there late in time to intervene, but not prevent it altogether. On a miss, you get there just in time to be in trouble yourself.
So, a quick reminder about how Monster of the Week, like, moves and stuff work. Generally, like, you're going to want to tell me what you do rather than like using the skill, and then I will tell you whether you actually need to roll for it. The reason being that if there is nothing good that you could gain from this, you don't want to use the skill and only have a chance for something bad to happen. So, which I might not have described that great.
No. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So tell me like what Silas is trying to do.
Silas wants to find Clara quickly.
Okay.
Silas just saw something that don't make no sense and tried to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
And then she just did some magic.
Mm-hmm. Summon a little
so
bird.
there's just kind of a lot. Yeah, there's just a lot that, and it's like Silas knows that they're not their personality. They're equipped to be on their own, but they're not equipped to like Silas isn't an authority figure. Yeah. So Silas is like, help! I need an adult.
So are you trying to make some sort of like mental connection to try to like see where she is? Are you trying to are you going to ask the bargainer for help, or what are you like?
You know,
how
which
are
one
you trying
would
to magic your way into this? If you're trying to hunches, or are you just trying to like get a sense of intuition?
Yeah, I would say that Silas is just trying to figure out real hard where Clara is. I think me as a player, I think I would like this to be like a manifestation of the hallucinogen spooky powers, but again, in a way that like Silas is not consciously aware of.
Okay. I've got an idea of how I would want this to go. Roll me the hunches thing again.
Okay, so that would be
plus 10 plus, or sorry, 2d6 plus sharp. So plus 0.
Yeah. All right, that's a 7.
Okay. What I would say is, while you're standing there, that same sort of you hear a slight hoot coming from behind you, and as you turn, you see that same spectral owl that you had summoned before land on a crate that's sort of at the corner of the Goof Emporium, and it stares straight into your soul.
Well, butter my bis crumpets.
Then it looks around that corner and takes to the air and flies off in that direction. As it starts flying away, it just sort of turns into like mist and disappears.
Well, I've seen enough weird things today that I know I should follow whatever that was. And Silas cautiously follows as closely as they can from the ground.
Gotcha.
The path that the owl took in the air.
Okay, so you round the corner around the building, and you see, as you start going off that way, you see a small light sort of in the back of this building, and it's a lantern that is lit, a little gas lantern that is lit next to a door on the back, and this door looks like it's sort of like for private use or something. It's not the big sort of shop doors of the rest of the building. As you like sort of lean up against the door, all sneaky like, you hear some slight conversation going on from inside.
I listen in real quick, but like I don't push the door much more. I try to see if I can hear.
And as you are doing that, the crackling in your pocket from those stones gets louder, and sort of in between, among all of them, it sounds kind of echoey. It sounds, each of them you're only picking up little pieces of this. You hear Clara's voice start to come from those stones.
Gotcha.
And
oh no, sorry, go ahead.
And the voice says,
This is a message for Father Card of the Congress Monastery, from Clara Seidel, Acolyte of Lumen, from the 3rd Diocese. I came to Fleet Haven Sending Stone to report Dark Rumblings, necromantic magic being used in South Bend. But now that I'm here, we found evidence that whatever's going on in South Bend, there's something going on here too. Father Card, I request immediate support. Please, something is wrong.
and then there's a pause, less direct. You hear a bit of,
Now was that so hard? Jeez, like, it's taking me forever. I don't know. Can't run a business.
and then it cuts out.
Gotcha. So I try to go in, not sneak in, but I try to go in without immediately alerting my presence.
The door slowly just pushes open. It is not locked. You give me, is there some sort of like some sort of sneaking skill?
Sneak, maybe an attack.
Act under pressure, investigate a mystery. I'll say
Act under pressure.
Act under pressure
maybe?
makes sense. I guess. I don't think that's exactly what this is supposed to be, but I'll go ahead and use that.
That is a 6.
All right, mark 1 experience.
I'm leveled up at this point.
Yeah. You are opening the door, and as you push it open, a bell off the top of the door just goes ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling.
And I just like stand there holding the door and then like slowly try to close it past the bell again.
It rings again, and you hear some shuffling, and God, every day with you people just won't leave me alone. And then you see Goblin Godfrey round the corner. He sees you and he's like, "What do you want? Why are you here, Mike?"
She literally just like upturns the bag onto the floor.
He stops in his tracks and
not blinking.
He looks at those and says, sort of puts his hands together, forms it into like a little pointing finger, and points it towards you and says, "Well,
before you speak,
yes,
think carefully about what you say next."
I definitely,
now she's like leaning in, like just really close, like,
I invented the sounding stones, and that was me and only me that did it.
Let's try this one again. She backs up. She like moves her shoulders, cracks her knuckles, pulls out her staff, leans in again and goes,
give me. Oh, so what are you trying to figure out right now?
I mean, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of him lying.
I'm going to say manipulate someone. Roll that for me.
Okay. And that's charm. My charm's bad though.
Let me see something real quick.
Should I level up first? Or do we level up at the end of the mystery?
I think we level up at the end of this session. If this session ends it, then we level up at the end of the mystery. 1 second. Okay, never mind. I was trying to see if you could like use one of your other abilities with this, and you cannot. So because I wanted to kind of give you like advantage for it, but there's not really a mechanic for that you could use. All right, roll me a charm or manipulate someone. So -1 charm.
Okay, and I'm also, I don't get any pluses from my telepathy. Oh, darn.
Yeah, I know. That's exactly what I was looking for. I was like, is there some way we can make this like useful?
Okay. Then if it's -1, then that is a 6.
Dang. Okay. Man, I really wanted that to happen.
Yeah, so did I. Oh, well, it's unfortunate. I don't roll good dice, apparently.
Apparently. I'm trying to think if there's like anything that we can, that is beneficial here. Would this be a manipulates person, or would this be investigate a mystery? Because like you're trying to find information, right?
Yeah, that's fair. This would be investigate a mystery.
Okay, let's do that instead. Investigate a mystery.
And I'm not saying that to like oh, this will be better for me. Like, no, I think that's actually a better read as a keeper.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to use your previous roll, because that would still be a 0, or that would be like a 7, or we can try re-rolling. You can try for that 10 plus, but you might end up not winning it at all.
Let's go ahead and try for the re-roll. If it doesn't work, then it wasn't meant to be.
Okay.
Re-rolling. Okay. Was it meant to be?
What'd you get?
A 4.
Ah, geez. Okay. Godfrey, he reaches out and tries to snatch the stones that are on the ground. He's like, these are just a failed experimentation from when I was. What are you doing in my my property? What's going on here?
Oh, well, I guess I probably wasn't the only one in your property, Mr. Godfrey. Was that your cousin or your brother? The thing with the branches for antlers.
What are you talking about?
What am I talking about? Okay, well, we can play the game of what am I talking about? Or the thing can show up here and kill another person like it did last night.
And he looks over at Clara and he's like, what is he looks like a little like concerned. I think he starts to realize that there's 2 armed people in his house with him at the middle of night. I don't know what he would say here.
Without moving, Silas, like without letting him like get away, basically, Silas starts addressing Claire and it's like, listen, so I followed those mosquitoes out into the woods, back to where they go at, and there was like a little fortress, not really a fortress, it was smaller, a fort. And there was this thing that was climbing on the water, first of all, and it looked kind of like a deer with a human face and wood branches for antlers. I don't know, scared the crap out of me, but I decided to investigate its place. And then there was piles of these broken sounding stones down there. And when I tried to leave, that thing animated some crocodiles and alligators to come after me. Now, I summoned some kind of weird spectral owl. That's a different point. We can talk about that on a later date. But I'm pretty sure that's the thing that killed that poor farmer. And I know it saw me. And I came back here. So, yeah, I think that's everything you need to know.
At this, Clara sets her hand. She's standing behind Godfrey. So Godfrey's between the two of you. She sets her hand on his shoulder and she says, "You're going to want to talk to us." Godfrey shifts around nervously and says, I can't just give it to you because like you failed the roll is the thing. So I'm not going to.
Yeah, but you'd be giving it to Clara.
That's true. But at this, Godfrey turns and tries to twist out from under her shoulder and tries to dart past you and out the door.
Kick some ass. Wait, hold on.
Wait, tell me what you want to do, and I'll tell you if you can do it.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to move because apparently the air conditioner can be heard through the microphone at an insanely high volume.
Okay, good to know.
Okay. So we are now in the bathroom. Can you hear me?
It's very echoey, but that might be resolved when you bring the mic closer to you.
What about now? Still really echoey?
It's still kind of echoey. It's not terrible.
Hold on. Okay, what about now?
Sounds pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, so we're going to roll a kick some ass, and I'm going to try to trip him.
Okay. I don't think I'm going to make you kick some ass, because kick some ass is like a situation where like two things are fighting one another, and you're like definitely going to get hurt a little bit. I think that I'm just going to let you trip him.
Okay.
So you stick out your staff and like shove it between his legs as he is trying to run past you, and he trips and he falls and crashes his head into the door frame.
Oh.
Yeah. And
is he alive?
He He hits the door frame. He yelps and then sort of rolls to the side. And you see a little trail of blood coming out of his head, and he stops moving.
Silas goes, Godfrey, I am mighty sorry about that. I do not wish to hurt you or harm you in any serious fashion. But we are pressed for time, and because someone else might die, and you aren't being helpful. So I just kind of need you to comply. Sorry, Clara.
Clara steps forward and is like, oh geez, I think you knocked him out. Oh geez. And he is lying there. She feels for a pulse, and she's like, oh good, okay, he's okay, all right, he's alive. And so she picks him up. He's pretty small, and she's fairly strong. She picks him up and like puts him over on a chair in the corner and just sort of rests him there. And he starts a few seconds later, he starts stirring a little bit, but is like out of it.
I whispered to Clara, should I suggest that maybe we move him to a place that's not a public place of business that people will be seeking to come into at some point?
Clara looks around and she's like, oh, don't worry. This is sort of his like back office, like house and stuff. Like he's got a bedroom right around the corner. But you're right. It probably would be best to move him away from the just place with an open door. So she picks him up and carries him over to his bedroom and drops him in there. As she's coming out, she says to you, wait, Silas, come in here.
I didn't do it.
You walk around. You find in his room there is a large map pinned to the wall. His room is, by the way, very messy. Like just like it's a bit of a sty, like just covered in stuff, junk and
huge. Everything's bigger than it needs to be because he obviously has like an inferiority complex.
Sure, yeah. It's all like much bigger than it needs to be. The bed is like a king size bed, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like in this room with this map, it's got like a stool in front of it so you can like reach the top. You can see that it's a map of all of the entire world as far as you know. It's got the wall. It's got a marker for Flukehaven. You see South Bend on there. You see a few of the other cities you've been to. And you notice a marker indicating the different sending stones that are around, big crystalline stones. You see markers that indicate different franchises, different Goof Emporium franchises in different cities. On a desk under this map, you see sketches of the sounding stones, all different shapes, different styles. You see cracks, you see notes that are all dated pretty meticulously and seem to indicate that he found them like maybe, I don't know, like a few months ago, maybe a year ago. And you happen to know that these line up with when you remember hearing that those earthquakes had first started happening.
Because I've been keeping track of it.
Because you've been keeping track of that.
Sweet.
Yeah, you're like, oh yes, Ty actually makes this come into play.
On top of that, like Silas goes, listen, wait a second. Clara?
Yeah.
Clara. Hold on. Clara. And she goes, oh my God, Clara. And she's like reaching around looking. She's like, and she pulls out the book and she's like flipping through pages and she's like, look, this day here. And it's like, she just starts reciting the dates and like matching. She's like, it's the earthquakes.
Yeah, and so you actually find a very specific like note for when you had heard of a big earthquake happening on the, in sort of towards the south, farther south than you were at the time when you heard the report of it. And Clara looks at it and she's like, oh my, yeah, you're right. It's like pretty much like 2 or 3 days after he says he found all these stones. Well, that's crazy.
Silas also like looks around for the bargainer, like to try to like get a thumbs up.
She looks around and sort of in the corner, he's sitting on a very large dresser. And he just sort of like looks at you and
Silas looks at him like Come on. You know you gotta give it to me. Without you gotta come on.
He sort of like smiles and shrugs and he's like, I don't know.
She just like waves him off like fun.
He disappears into the shadows.
She goes over and she like lightly so she goes over, right?
You know what? Investigate a mystery while you're doing this.
Okay.
Because you're looking through somebody's like, conspiracy board, their notes and stuff.
That is fair.
Yeah.
Roll 2d6.
How did you get?
It's a 5 time. So I go, Clara, I don't think this is a language I understand.
Yeah, it's all a lot of the more in-depth notes are actually written in Goblin. So Clara's looking at it and she's like, oh geez, oh man, I wish we hadn't knocked him out. Oh no.
So then Silas like walks over, keeping her eye on the board, Goblin will come to her if she stares at it long enough, and she's like rubbing her chin, and she walks over to Goblin Godfrey, and she just like casually like smacks him in the head, not hard, just like without looking at him, still looking at the board. Mm-hmm. Does he stir?
He stirs a little bit, and I'm gonna say, okay, so I think that your telepathy is gonna activate, and I want you to roll investigate a mystery again.
Okay. Not my daytime.
What happened?
It's a 3.
Jesus.
I've been trying so many different dice rolls, and they're all just like, no.
They're killing you.
Yeah.
You smack him in the face, and you see him in your mind's eye. You see him sit up and look at you, and he starts talking, but he's just sort of talking gibberish. He doesn't seem to be talking anything that you can really understand or use. Clara does not seem to notice that he has sat up and started talking to you.
So I look at Clara, I look at him. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to see if he's responding to any of my body language.
Okay.
Like the parts of him that I'm seeing, is he responding to my body language, or is he kind of just doing his own thing?
He seems to be just kind of doing his own thing.
Okay. Silas says, "Hey, Clara."
Yeah.
So could you look through his stuff in his room? I know that might be against your thing. Maybe I'll do it if you don't want to. But I'm gonna try to wake him up in the kindest way that I think I can. I do feel terribly sorry for hurting him, so you don't have to worry about me hurting him anymore. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just assuming that since you're partially an authority figure, you might have some more experience doing the investigating stuff than me.
All right. I suppose. Are you asking her to leave the room and start looking through other things, or
no?
She's just looking through the notes.
Yeah, and through drawers and stuff, see if there's anything to find.
She starts looking through all of those things. She pulls out a few things you before you turn back to Godfrey. She pulls out some actual some toolkits, a knife, a few cracked sounding stones, just a few things like that before you turn back.
Gotcha. Silas is just thinking, rubbing her chin, trying to think, what is the thing that's gonna wake him up, that's gonna shock him, right? Just enough to get us to notice that he's awake, if he's also pretending that he's not awake. Silas quizzically looks at Goblin Godfrey and then kisses him on the cheek. Not sexy or anything, just pecks him on the cheek, stands back and looks.
Nothing seems to happen. He's still just sort of talking garbage.
She takes her staff and rattles it in between his ankles.
He still is making those sort of sounds that aren't really adding up, but you are starting to see that form blur with his actual sleeping form. or like relatively unconscious form.
So Silas is starting to realize that like maybe the things that she's seeing aren't real.
Mm-hmm.
And so she goes, "Hey, remember when I said something about a spectral owl?"
Yeah.
And yeah, don't worry about that. And then just like turns back to
She goes back to her stuff and is like a little confused, but okay.
yeah. Silas takes a break from Godfrey, says, "Hey, I'm gonna walk out and try to see if maybe there's some stuff like in anything just outside of the door. Just a cursory look. I'm not gonna go through anything too deeply, but I'll be right back."
Okay. I would also like you to read a bad situation right now.
I was just about to do that. I also was gonna do something different if this doesn't turn out to be too crazy, Harry, whatever this bad situation is. All right, dice roller. Let's try another one. Okay. That's a 4.
Oh man, it's never gonna be a good read a bad situation. How many have you just like flunked in a row?
I think I've literally leveled up twice.
That's amazing.
You know what?
Yo.
You know what I'm gonna do?
What?
You know that last read a bad situation roll?
Yeah.
Oh, mark luck.
Oh. What does that do again? Does that change it up 1 or does it change it up all the way?
Changes it to a 12.
Oh, geez. Okay. I was really looking forward to how I was going to screw you over with that. But all right. I actually had a way in mind this time. On a 10 plus, you hold 3. So that's you can ask the keeper, me, one of the following questions. What's your best way in? What's your best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? And what's the best way to protect the victims? So you have stepped out into the hall, away from these guys. And
is there a different one for 12 plus? Because I know there is for
plus,
like...
You may ask the keeper any question you want about the situation, not just the listed ones.
Gotcha. Okay. So I got different questions for you, Ty.
Okay. Oh, geez. Okay. I'm excited. Luck is something, for the listener, luck is something that Silas or that Amber always has access to. But once they use up all of their luck, I can start throwing horrendously unfair things at them.
Which is why I've been like very, very
reluctant,
cautious of using it.
Yes.
There are 7 total points.
And it does not refresh.
No, never. So I only have 6 more luck now. Start the game with 7. And yeah, so I guess maybe for the rest of this episode, I'm going to be just using a bunch of luck. So yeah, I think the question I'm going to ask is the monster getting close?
You are in the room and you notice a bit of a like cicada like buzz starting to build outside of the doorway that you guys have left open.
Okay.
Not like it's right there, but like it's starting to build up.
Can I protect both of them? Is it possible?
It is possible.
Okay. Is Godfrey a liability?
Explain what you mean by that.
If I had to get everyone out in a rushed manner, is Godfrey, do I think as a character looking at him in his state right now that he's actually permanently mentally damaged, right? That like,
oh, okay.
Or is he just kind of out and I can wake him up and get going? You
got the vibe that he is very much like concussed. This is probably not a permanent thing. It might be even the thing that might pass in the next few minutes or the next like 30 minutes or something. Like he was already starting to like stir a little bit. And also, that being said, he's like pretty small, so you could probably carry him without much difficulty, but you wouldn't be able to carry him and fight or whatever if you had to do anything super difficult.
Okay, so Silas is gonna walk to the door.
Yes.
Look the direction of where the fort is.
Mm-hmm.
Using the sight and hunches. So I'm gonna explain it this way. Silas, now realizing that something is up with the way that they view the world and the way that they see the world, they're gonna try to lean into it.
Okay.
They can already feel, right? They notice the cicadas and the bugs. Something about their history in like bad situations lets them know that like maybe it was running from the cops or something, but like something's coming after them, right? And chances are they're coming after these cracked sounding stones. Silas knows what's up and enters into sort of like a crisis management mode and wants to see everything that they can about this monster and see if they can get sort of the sort of glowing aura coming from that area to see like where the monster is, like in what form it's coming. And maybe to also, and this is why I said hunches, to sort of discern if there's like where it's going to go, what it wants to do, and, you know, if there's anything that we can do to stop it.
Yeah. So,
I'm going to mark a luck.
Okay. Okay. So you're using hunches. So you automatically on a 10 plus, you knew where you needed to go just in time to get there.
As well as the sight.
So you can see invisible and magical influences. Oh man, how do I want this to go?
So I guess that's 2 points of luck. So I have 4 luck left.
You start with 6 or you start with 7?
7.
Okay. And you used 1 earlier?
Yep.
Okay. Oh wait. That's that. I'm saying that's 1 luck for the hunch, but you don't have to roll the luck for or you don't have to use up luck for the sight because that's not a thing you roll for sight.
Well, I use it when I use investigative mystery.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're hunching. Are you doing hunch and?
Yep.
And investigative mystery.
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out as much as I can in one fell swoop. First things first, where's the monster? What do I see?
What you see is a swarm of cicadas that are glowing to you. That you can just see them, like they will pause on a tree, buzz, and then pop over to another tree, flying over to another tree, and they're just doing that. And you can see this crowd of swarm of glowing cicadas slowly working their way through the woods from this creature towards you.
Do I see the creature?
You do not see the creature yet.
Oh, where is it coming? Here?
It appears to be coming towards you. Yes.
Okay. And remember, this is a 12 plus, so I get to...
You get to really get some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you are investigating a mystery right now.
Here's my question.
Yo.
What is this thing? Like, I'm looking at it. I want to know. And if I have to get the bargainer involved, like, actually, that's what I'm going to turn slightly. Speaking to the bargainer, I'm going to be like, all right, so we had a deal. I know I'm not from here, and I know that I'm different. Now, I don't know exactly what kind of deal we made, but if we don't do something right now, this thing is going to kill people. And I need you to do everything that you can to help me stop that.
The bargainer looks at you under the brim of his hat. You can't see his eyes, you can only see his smile. I'll let you use me. If you, later, let me use you. Do we have a deal? And he holds out his hand.
Silas looks down at her hand and flexes it and turns it over and looks up at the bargainer. Looks in the window to see if she could see Clara.
You can see her faint form in the other room.
and without looking away from Clara, just grabs the barkeeper's hand and shakes.
You see from the corner of your vision, not breaking sight with Clara, you see the bargainer's form sort of dissolve into misty shadows, and you feel a strange tremor going up your arm and pouring into you and filling you. And the world becomes not brighter, but almost that you can see through the darkness a little bit stronger. You fall down and crying out. Clara, you see her shape through the window, startle, and then run out to meet you.
I try to tell her to stay, but she's like, no, don't come out. I'm fine. Stay in there.
She stops in the doorway, and she says to you, Silas, are you okay? What's wrong?
Looks like these crazy eyes are gonna get a little bit crazier. I'm sorry, Claire, but we need to save these people.
As that happens, the buzz of the cicadas gets louder, and
I sprout wings. Black wings.
okay. That's gonna be some big magic that you just performed. And I think that's where we're gonna stop for today.
Awesome. I think big magic is fine with the bargainer's help.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you don't know what you've just promised away, but that's okay.
No, I don't. But, I need to stop trying to play it safe.
This has been a very fun episode. We are very close to the end now. Hope the listeners have been enjoying this so far. Have a wonderful time, everybody. What was the thing that we were saying? Pay your respects.
I think it was pay your respects.
Pay your respects. Pay your respects. All right. Bye, folks.
No, pay your
Oh,
respects.
pay your respects. We can't every time. Thanks to the Joy Drops for the use of Not Drunk as our intro and outro music. Find them at thejoydrops.com. You can find us at sidecharacterquest.com, at SCQ Podcast on Twitter, or by email at sidecharacterquest@gmail.com.
There'll be like a little music playing and then bloopers.
Goblin Godfrey. Listeners, there was a giant pause as I forgot his name. That it will probably be mostly edited out.
Excuse me, my dice are loading.
I'm going to need one of my classic stand up and walk around for a few minutes.
Okay.
All right, we're done.
Okay, pay your respects.
Okay.